guys, welcome back to a new video. Now, I'm assuming that I won't be able to get my channel back. I'm just gonna say that now, and that means I have to start over. So, I guess I have to start uploading on this one now. So, or maybe I can make. Never mind. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy. Let's get started with today's video. We go to the Nine Tails attack, where everything would be exactly the same, where Naruto would get the Nine Tails and Minato and Kushina would make Hiruzen promise to take care of Naruto. Now this time Hiruzen would actually take care of Naruto. As we go to the age of 3, Naruto would be given his own house, which would surprise him a lot. I have all of this. As Hiruzen would nod his head, Naruto would point out the giant mansion that is in front of him, away from the village, far in the back, actually hidden in the trees. Hiruzen would tell Naruto that this entire property is him, or is owned to him, as Naruto would ask why. Hiruzen would just say that his parents were really wealthy, and that they had a big house, and he feels like Naruto should at least get it. Naruto would be happy, as he would ask Hiruzen if he can figure out who his parents are, as Hiruzen would shake his head no, saying that his parents are to be kept secret until he's the right age. Naruto would frown as he'd ask what age would that be, as Hiruzen would say when he becomes a chunin. Naruto would now have a motivation to figure out who his parents are, so he would start training to become a chunin as fast as possible, which would make Hiruzen laugh. Naruto just moving his kunai around, not even in a right stance or just swinging it around. Hiruzen would tell Naruto just because he's swinging a kunai doesn't make him a chunin. Naruto would be confused, as Hiruzen would tell Naruto that he will start training him little by little, as Naruto would just accept this. Throughout the years, Naruto would get trained from Hiruzen with the kunai, taijutsu, and ninjutsu, which would surprise Hiruzen, and Naruto's elements are wind, lightning, and water. Water is probably from the Uzumaki's, lightning is probably from Minato, but the wind came out of nowhere. Hiruzen would just think nothing of it as he continued to train Naruto, since Hiruzen knows all 5 elemental jutsus, all 5 chakra natures. I don't know why I said elemental jutsus. Chakra natures. He would train Naruto in some basic ninjutsu. He was not able to do the clone, which would make Hiruzen think of a way and give Naruto the shadow clone, the multi-shadow clone jutsu, which would make Naruto happy and be able to make clones. Hiruzen would give Naruto the on how the clones work, as Naruto would make about 100 of them and get 100 times the XP or experience. Naruto would also be forced into the library the mansion had, as Naruto would be reading through it. Hiruzen would be watching Naruto, as Hiruzen would have a shadow clone doing the work in the Hokage's office. Naruto would figure out something weird about this library, as it has a lot about the 4th Hokage, as Naruto would ask Hiruzen why there's so much information about the 4th Hokage here. And the techniques that he used. Hiruzen would just say that this library was special and that his parents were really close to the 4th Hokage, which would make Naruto happy, saying that if his parents were close to the 4th Hokage, they must have been really strong. Hiruzen would nod his head, as Hiruzen would say, also your mother was the top swordswoman, I would say, in the Leaf Village. As Naruto would say, what, really? As Hiruzen would nod, as he would bring out a small tanto that he's brought with him, as he would throw it at Naruto, who would grab it. Naruto would stare at it, as Hiruzen would say, I'll be training you in Kenjutsu, or, well, I'm not really good in Kenjutsu, but I'll have someone train you in that, as Naruto would be happy at this. For the next few years, Naruto would get trained from Hiruzen and Kakashi, as Kakashi was the only one that Hiruzen knew that wouldn't treat Naruto badly, and Naruto would get Kenjutsu training from Kakashi. Naruto would be the age of 6, as he'd be called in from the Hokage's office, as he'd be reading a book in his library. Naruto would raise an eyebrow as he'd follow the Anbu to the Hokage's office. With a smile on his face, he'd open the door, but immediately when he entered, the smile on his face would turn into a frown as he'd stare at Danzo. Danzo would be sitting in the old man's chair, as Naruto would raise an eyebrow. Lord Danzo, why are you sitting in old man's chair? As Danzo would have a frown. It's best to put respect, Naruto. As Naruto would stare at Danzo. Sorry, but I don't respect people. It seems you haven't noticed. Anyways, where's the old man? As Danzo would look around. Well, it's sad to say that Hiruzen has died. Naruto would immediately have shock in his eyes, as the Anbu who were on Hiruzen's team will also be very shocked, as the Root would be in the room. I'm now the Hokage of the village. Naruto, what about the voting? As Danzo would smirk, well, there's no need for voting, as the council has already decided that I will be the next Hokage if Hiruzen were to ever die. As Naruto would stare at him, how did Hiruzen die? As Danzo would smile, well, it's truly sad. He was on a walk and was ambushed. As Naruto would glare at Danzo, knowing exactly what happened, as Danzo would say, anyways, I'm just here to tell you, you'll be joining Anbu soon. As Naruto would say, what? As Danzo would nod, you'll be joining the route Anbu tomorrow, so get ready. As Naruto would be get dismissed from the room, as he'd walk back to the house, or to his house. As he'd look around, everyone would still be giving him glares and all, but he'd look up at the Hokage's monument, seeing Hiruzen's face and the fourth Hokage's face next to each other. As Naruto would sigh, I have a bad feeling about this village. As he would enter his house, and the next morning he'd be put into Anbu and go through more vigorous training, this time at a faster rate. Danzo, at the age of 8, Danzo would force Naruto to try to learn the Kyuubi's powers. Naruto would be sitting in a room full of seals, crisscross, trying to meditate. As he would appear in the mindscape, looking around, he would see two red eyes staring at him, as Naruto would stare back at it. Kurama would be surprised at Naruto's eyes, as he doesn't see any fear, no flinching whatsoever, as Naruto would walk up to the cage. He was climbing up with his chakras. Kurama would say nothing, as Naruto was about to rip off the paper. This would surprise Kurama, as Kurama yelled at Naruto, what are you doing? As Naruto would look at Kurama, taking off the paper. As Kurama would be confused, why? As Naruto would stare at him, well, I do need a plan. As Kurama would be confused as well, or be even more confused. As Kurama would ask Naruto what he means, as Naruto would jump down, landing in the water. As you notice, the Leaf Village is in a state of panic, as Kurama would nod. As the Leaf Village is now in a war with the Sand Village, trying to take it over, as Kurama would nod. Yes, after your old man was killed and that freak got into the chair, the village has not been peaceful since then. As Naruto would nod. And that's why I'm leaving. As Kurama would raise an eyebrow. Leaving, as Naruto would nod. And for me to leave, I would have to need power to kill every Anbu who decides to get in my way. Any person trying to get in my way, to be exact. As Kurama would stare at the seal. And your way of doing that is to release me. As Naruto would nod. Yup. Now, Danzo has told me to master my inner demons, or whatever he calls it, which I'm just assuming is you. Now, the plan is simple. I'm going to release that seal, and you're going to try to take over my body, and this would bring a state of 2 tails or 3 tails popping up, and that will cause destruction in the Anbu quarters. During that, I do not want you to kill anybody else, just to get away from the village. As Kurama would smile, how can you trust me? What if I just decide to destroy the entire village? As Naruto would say, that's fine by me. I have no one in this village. Well, except Kakashi. As Kurama raised an eyebrow. No one, you say. As Naruto would nod. It doesn't really matter what you do, but I'm trusting you with the plan I gave you. As Kurama would smirk. Fine, you have a deal. As Naruto would walk back up the cage, as he would rip off the seal, Kurama bursting out, as Naruto would be sent flying, as he be sent unconscious when he slams into the wall. Naruto meditating would suddenly be covered in a red aura, as 3 tails would pop up. Anbu's outside the meditative zone, I guess, would suddenly feel a huge amount of chakras. They realize Kurama has been broken out. They'd burst into a room to see Kurama or Naruto dash towards them, killing them immediately, as Kurama would be destroying the entire Anbu base. As Kurama bursts out of the underground base, as everyone would stare in the sky to see Kurama, as they'd start, or not real Kurama, but like see Naruto in a red cloak, as everyone starts screaming and running away. Anbu and Jonin would start to arrive on the spot. Danzo, seeing this as well, realized that their weapon is broken out. Naruto or Kurama would start running out of the village, as Anbu and Jonin would start to stop them, but they would absolutely be useless. Eventually, Naruto would be far, far away from the Leaf Village as Kurama would recede back into his seal. As Naruto would wake up, as he'd generally be surprised, Kurama actually listened to the plan. Naruto would find a nice spot on a tree as he'd sit down and try to meditate. While meditating, he'd go back into the mindscape as Kurama would be sleeping as Naruto would ask why he decided to follow the rules. As Kurama would stare at Naruto with one eye open. I've only followed your rules because you do not want to be in that village. As Naruto would smirk. It seems we have the same idea. As Kurama would nod. Yes. This is the only one-time thing. I will not give you back my power whatsoever, only when I see necessary. You must be worthy, and then I'll give you my power. As Naruto would smirk. I wouldn't have it any other way. As he would leave the mindscape, Naruto's training would begin fully to take down the Leaf Village, as he knows that the Leaf Village is fully corrupt at this point. You see, Danzo didn't know that Naruto was actually given a scroll from this monkey that appeared in his house before the Anbu did. As we go to a flashback before Naruto was called to the Hokage's office to figure out about the bad truth, Naruto would be reading his book about the flying Raijin, as suddenly a small monkey would appear. As Naruto would stare at it, Naruto would memorize this monkey, as he's seen Hiruzen spawn it before, as he would raise an eyebrow. The monkey would give Naruto a scroll, as Naruto would open it and read it, as it would say that Hiruzen has died, and he trusts Naruto with the ability to stop the corrupted village. Naruto would think this is a joke until he was actually sent into the Hokage office to see Danzo. Back to the previous time, Naruto would be walking as he would see a cave as he'd walk inside of it. Unknown to Naruto, this would actually be the beginning of an Akatsuki base that would be made. As Naruto would be walking around, he would see some people with red cloaks, as Naruto would make sure to be quiet. Naruto is the age of 10 at this point, and since he's been getting Anbu training, he is quite good in stealth as he's sneaking around. Suddenly he would find this big room as he would enter it to see 9 holograms on finger, or 10 holograms, as he would look at all of them different shapes and sizes, some of them missing, as Itachi and the others are not there yet. Actually no, Itachi's there. I forgot because Danzo took over early, so the Uchihas are gone. And Sasuke is already in Anbu, so yeah. Since Danzo became Hokage, he made Sasuke special training, and he's in Anbu. So Naruto would be staring at all of them. As Pain would look in the direction Naruto is, who is this? Everyone would be confused as everyone would look in the direction to see Naruto as he'd walk out. Sorry, I got lost. You guys know where the bathroom is? As everyone would be confused. Pain and Konoha are the only real people in the room. The holograms are still there, as actually no, everybody's there because they have no mission yet. As Pain would walk up to Naruto. Why are you here? As Naruto would stare at Pain, as he would see the Rinnegan, which would surprise him, as the books in his library did talk about that. As he'd stare at Pain. Well, I'm a missing nin. As Pain would raise an eyebrow. Oh, I haven't seen you on the bingo book. As Naruto would say, yeah, I just got out. As Pain would stare at him. And what makes you valuable? As Naruto would stare at his wrist, as he would suddenly a poof would appear, which would surprise everyone. As Naruto would hold up the scroll of ceilings, as Pain would stare at it. Interesting. As Naruto would nod. Now, with your weird cloaks, can I join? As Pain would raise an eyebrow. Sure. You won't become an official member, but I guess you could be a volunteer. As Naruto would smile. This is good to his plan. He's trying to take down Konoha, and it seems that these people are all missing nins. So it'll be good for him. He can use them to take down Konoha, and then take them down when he gets Konoha back. As Pain to give him a cloak and a ring which just said apprentice on it. As Naruto would take both and put it on, as Naruto would just stand there. Naruto would walk back to the statue as he would explain the plans that they'll be doing some mercenary jobs, as Pain would stare at Konoha. Please take Naruto as your volunteer. Your first mission is to see information in the Sand Village and the war in Konoha. Naruto would think this is great, as you can see the other side of Konoha's attack, or the Sand Village, which Konoha randomly attacked. Konoha would accept Nagato's proposal, as she would accept Naruto as a volunteer. Both of them would walk out as everyone would go their separate ways, as Naruto would be walking behind Konoha. So, Konoha, what's your ability? Konoha wouldn't say anything as Naruto continued speaking. As soon Konoha would turn around. Can you stop talking? As Naruto would immediately have fake anime tears as he would look up. Come on, I'm just trying to get a conversation going. As Konoha would continue walking. Well, I wish a conversation would not start. As she would actually grow paper wings and fly in the air, as Naruto would think that's unfair, as he would start running on the ground. Eventually they arrive at the sand village as they would stare, as Naruto would go into a cloak or a disguise, and Konoha would also go into a disguise as they would walk into the sand village. They would hear information about how Konoha is about to attack the sand village in a week or so, but the attack got delayed because the 9 tails that they had broke out. Naruto would be surprised at the rate the information spread, as Konoha would stare. The 9 tails. Interesting. Maybe we can recruit him. As Naruto would say, yeah, maybe we could recruit the 9 tails. If they continue walking on, they would eventually arrive at the Hokage's tower as they would enter it. The Sand Kage would stare at Naruto and Konoha in their disguises as he would say, what is your business here? As Konoha and Naruto would say that they would like to spy for them on the sand or the leaf village, as the Sand Kage would just accept this. Naruto and Konoha still in their disguise, so they would go on a spy mission to the leaf village. Naruto going back to the leaf village would actually be surprised at the fast rate Naruto is going at, as he would be there with Konoha looking around trying to figure out stuff, and plus this would be good for Naruto as he did need to get more stuff from his house. Konoha would be walking with Naruto as Naruto would say, I need to go. Konoha would be confused as Naruto would say he needs to get something, as Konoha would just shrug as she would continue walking. Naruto would disappear as he'd appear back in his library in the Namikaze mansion. Naruto would immediately start taking all the scrolls that he had or that are important, like the Flying Raijin, Rasengan, and different variants of jutsus. Finally sealing it all away, he would appear back next to Konoha, as Konoha would be surprised as Naruto had appeared in a black flash thanks to the Akatsuki cloak. Konoha would raise an eyebrow as Naruto would say, oh, it was just a body flicker. As Konoha would realize that it wasn't a body flicker because a body flicker doesn't do that, because Naruto just appeared there. As body flickers normally sense like a huge amount of chakra in the area in which the person would teleport to, but Naruto just appeared there. Anyway, she would think nothing of it as she would start walking around and get more information about how everybody is starting to join Anbu. Kids from the age of 3 are joining Root Anbu, and Konoha is starting to get more of a military power. Due to the fact that they lost the 9 tails, they need more power because the Sand Village does still have Gaara, but Naruto did talk to Gaara when he was disguised. Seeing a kid just playing and then, or not playing, seeing a kid just playing in the sand and then suddenly no one would play with him, Naruto would talk to him for a bit and Gaara would have a connection to Naruto. Naruto's plan was to get Gaara into the Akatsuki, but that'll be on a later time. I hope you guys enjoyed. This will be the end of part 1. The like goal for this video is 50 likes, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.